How do you manifest your art, and where do you draw your reference from?
Technically, they're all paintings. As a modern person in the modern paradigm, I do whatever it takes to create my art, and I use what I have access to make it happen. As far as reference goes, I'm a cannibal in a convenience store. Because I'm a citizen in the modern global village, I have the privilege of having access to more art and information than artists that have gone before. I also have the convenience of mod cons like transport and communication networks, which enable me to go further and quicker to where I need to be. I look at and like all kinds of art, from the very primitive like the Khoisan art of the old South African hunter-gatherers, through to present-day digital art, animation and urban graffiti. I enjoy looking. For me, a lot of being an artist is about looking and finding. It's all good if it's done with the best intentions, and you just have to know what you like. As far as the manifestation of my art goes regarding the physical process, I create a relationship with the painting from the get-go. These are my babies, so I nurture them through the creative process until they start speaking to me. Then I work with them until they get to a state of resolutions. That's when I let go. People like beautiful things and they tend to look after them. This is one of the reasons why I strive to generate art with an aesthetic appeal that will endure well into the future.
What is your art about?
It's about courage, liberty, and celebration. It's about being brave enough to be the person that you really are, and it's about accessing your strengths so that you can make a contribution at the greatest level.
Why do you like art, and why do you like painting?
Like most people, I enjoy some of the finer things in life. An incredible amount of valuable information and human history has been archived by artists over the centuries. Art has always been my way of connecting with the world. When I view art, I feel like I'm tapping into the bigger picture. Anyone can say or write whatever they want to about an artwork, but we all create our own relationships with individual artworks, depending on our own circumstances and lifestyles. Art is subjective. It's about your perception and opinions, so you really just have to know what you like. I like art in all its manifestations, so long as it's done with good intentions. I like painting because I love art. A lot of my art is about art. For me, the human process is to be creative. We are all conceived by a creative process. Conception is a chaotic and often messy process. We spend a lot of the time in our lives being creative in multiple ways. When a person's presented with a challenge, they become creative. It's our most important life skill. Often you'll find that most creative people are problem solvers because they can think out of the box. Human progress is based on the evolution of creativity in all fields. Making images is a way of communicating opinions in a universal language. I like painting because it's a medium that I can use to convey my ideas and messages of the bigger picture. Art and painting have also been a friend and a form of therapy for me when I was trying to cope with post-traumatic stress disorder, a consequence of having served as a conscript in the South African Defence Force during the late 80s. Painting is a permanent entity if it's looked after properly. And people do tend to look after beautiful things properly. So they're nice to have if you can afford them. I can't afford them, so I make them. Okay, cool.
Just remember to keep that down so it's not at the yawn.
Anyone can say or write whatever they want to about an artwork, but we all create our own relationships with individual artworks, depending on our own circumstances and lifestyles. Art is subjective. It's about your perceptions and opinions, so you really just have to know what you like. Rolling up to the next. Human progress is based on the evolution of creativity in all fields. Making art is a way of communicating opinions in the universal language.
As a global artist, why do you base yourself in South Africa?
I like to think of myself as a global citizen, but I stay here because I am South African, deep family roots in the region. Okay, stop, sorry.
Global artist, why do you base yourself in South Africa?
I like to think of myself as a global citizen, but I stay here because I am South African, with deep family roots in the region. My family goes back to the first Dutch settlers who arrived with Van Riebeeck. It's difficult for me to think of living anywhere else on a permanent basis. It's what I understand. There's a lot of things I don't understand, like South African politics, which for me largely defies comprehension. I don't like politics. I know that everything is political, but I try and steer clear of political content in my art. South Africa is a beautiful region with a lot of colourful characters and ancient human history. There's amazing biodiversity with an awesome array of fauna and flora, and you can still find places that take your breath away. It's a spiritual place, as well as being steeped in history. The region has a relatively mild climate, which is conducive to painting, and the light is good, which brings out form and colour. The cultural diversity is interesting and influential in my art. In the global context, not such a bad old place. So when you get there,
When it gets to end of art, yeah.
no, there. Start asking the question there. I know that we can just start reading it there.
Yeah.
Okay, because it'll give me time then to, you know what I'm saying? Okay, so this is the first verse going up. Okay, now we're going to the second verse. When it gets to I know, start reading the question. Good?
As a global artist, why do you base yourself in South Africa?
South Africa is a beautiful region with a lot of colourful characters and ancient human history. There's an amazing biodiversity with an awesome array of fauna and flora, and you can still find places that take your breath away.